Today's podcast is sponsored by Illustrated Faith, a community that brings together creativity and worship with physical and digital products.
Every Tuesday, they release brand new digital goodies by amazing designers. Join in the fun at illustratedfaith.com.
Hey, crafty babes, this is Andrea, and we're here to chat about all the ways we live our craftiest lives.
And I'm Melissa, and we're here to inspire you to craft in a way that works for you.
Hi.
Hi, again.
How are you?
Good. I'm kind of getting over a little bit of a cold, so I sound a little bit froggy, but hopefully it's not
You still
too bad.
sound like you.
Good. I feel like I sound like a man, so hopefully not.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
Ooh, today we are going to talk about digital products and processes for digital products, because I feel like it's such a big topic and people are wondering how to make it an easy process. So I hope that we can shine a little light on some things for folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're going to chat about the benefits of digital supplies, and then we'll talk about where we buy them, where our favorite places are, and then how we print and how we use and store them.
Perfect.
So we will start by talking about the benefits of digital supplies versus physical supplies. And, you know, when we talk about digital versus physical, we are talking about products that you purchase online and then you download them, you own them, and you are responsible for printing them either on your own or off-site. And so this is in contrast to like a kit that you would buy that somebody sends you a physical product, or, you know, a manufacturer you buy from scrapbook.com or something like that, where you're getting physical papers. So this is not digital scrapbooking. So we're not going to be talking about using Photoshop to make your pages or the Project Life app or digital scrapbooking in general. This is just the supplies, because I feel like there's so many digital supplies out there as far as designers and shops, and it's a huge market. It's a huge thing, and I think it would be nice if we had a better handle on our stuff.
Yeah.
So with regards to the benefits, I would start by saying that one of the main benefits is getting the supplies immediately.
Yeah.
So having the purchase be made, and within 5 minutes, I could have that stuff printed out.
Yep.
Maybe not 5, maybe 10, but you get it right away, you know, instead of waiting for shipping and, oh, my order finally shipped, and then, oh, I'm going to track my shipping, you know, and waiting for it to get here. You get it right away.
Yeah. And I think sometimes if you're working on a project and you realize, oh, I don't have any journaling cards, or I don't have any, I'd really love a ticket here. I don't know. I'm just thinking of something that you could want, I guess. You know, you can just go online, grab some stuff, print it out, and you have it. You know, like you said, it can kind of help fill in a project where you may have forgotten something too.
Correct. Yeah, I like that idea. And I think one of the reasons why you like digital supplies a lot is the money saving aspect.
Yep.
Because you're only spending a few dollars and you get to use that product as many times as you want.
Yeah. Because like I think, for example, of Felicity Jane, who just started doing their digital kits. And a lot of times for me, even though I think Felicity Jane has some of the most beautiful kits I've ever seen, sometimes I feel like they're so beautiful, I don't actually get to use all the things. Like some months they come with tassels and beautiful letters and twine and vellum stickers. But if I buy the digital kit, it'll come with the cards, the papers, and embellishments. And I know for a fact I'll use those somehow. You know, so it limits what you get a little bit. You're not getting some of those fancier things that can only be made in with their manufacturer.
Manufactured.
Yep. But if you're just if you're being realistic and going, I just need to limit what's coming in and only use or only buy what I'm using, sometimes that's a little better way to go. And it's nice that there are companies like that are doing things like that, because I love Felicity Jane stuff, and so sometimes I feel sad that I miss out on some of their kits. But then when it came out to digital stuff, I was like, oh, this is almost as good. Like, it makes me feel like I'm getting a little piece of it.
Right. And I like what you said about limiting what comes in. Yeah. Because there's oftentimes, if you're a kit subscriber or you're buying something that you see online, or you buy something because you've seen somebody else use it, it comes in, it now takes up space, and you may not ever use it because it could be something you weren't expecting, or maybe something in your subscriber kit isn't really your style, or maybe it looked different when somebody else used it, and you've got it now in your life, and it's taking up space, and you have no idea how to use it. Yep. So with the digital, and you're only printing the things that you want or need at the time. So like if you pick up a card set, a journaling card set, and maybe it's got something that talks about vacation, but you're not going on vacation for like 4 months. Maybe you don't print that card. Maybe you just print 3 or 4 of the other cards that you can use right away. Mm-hmm. And then those are the only things taking up space in your world, you know?
Yep. And that's what I'll do a lot of times, especially when I get, the kits that come with like more things, that are bigger, I guess, that I might buy online. Maybe it's a free pack from, sometimes Sweet Shop Designs will do like a free set or something from someone. I'll go through and go, oh, I really like this. I'm going to go ahead and download it because it's free, but I'll probably actually only use this one paper. And I won't necessarily get rid of the other things unless I know for a fact, like if something is green and orange and purple with carrots on it, I don't know. I'm just gonna go, I probably won't ever use that. Yeah, I don't really know. And so I might delete that, but most of the time I'll just leave it on my computer, and if I decide one day it's the perfect thing for something, then I can print it out then. But then I don't end up with quite as much in my stash that I'm not using.
Yeah. And that's a good segue, even though we kind of had this in the list to talk about at the end, but that's a great way to get us to the next topic, which is how do you remember what you have? It's seriously always been a struggle, and I know it's a struggle for a lot of people. It's one of the main things that when I asked this question in our group, it's one of the main things that people wanted to know was how do you store them? How do you keep track? How do you know what you have? Yeah. So that you know you can go back and print it later.
I mean, that's a good, when you phrased it in our notes, I was like, how do I store them? I just keep them on my computer. Like, what is the question? I know. But when you phrase it that way, remembering exactly what you have, I keep a folder in my document section that is titled, I think I have a folder titled maybe crafty stuff. I don't remember. And then within that, I have categories for scrapbooking, Bible journaling. That might be it. I don't remember or maybe planning. And then I think I had a category for like listers got a list.
Okay, so you're breaking it down a little bit.
Yeah, because when I'm looking for something, I'm typically going to know who it's by. Yep. And then within that, I'll label it by who it's from. Like
the artist.
All my Kelly Banks creative stuff I have labeled KBC, and then what the kit is called. And then my illustrated face stuff I have like IF, and then what the kit is called. Because I don't break it up as far as like the different designers from Illustrated Faith, because I just don't go that far.
True. I don't do that either.
Yeah. But as far as remembering what's on there, I guess I'm kind of just thinking off the top of my head here because I didn't think about it this way. Maybe a good idea would be, a lot of times they'll have like a preview of what kind of the entire kit looks like. And so maybe printing like a thumbnail of what that
is great
preview
like
is,
a swatch book,
putting it all on a page. Yep.
Yeah.
That way you can go, oh, I know I have one about healthy eating. I have one about DIY projects. I have one about constellations. Some of those may be real. Some of those may be made up.
Is there one on toucans?
I don't have one on toucans currently.
Interesting. Well, you're going to have to get one on toucans.
I will get one on toucans just for you.
Yeah. You better search. Go ahead and search in the search bar. Toucans.
That's me typing.
That is an excellent idea. I love that you think off the top of your head and come up with the most brilliant ideas, because I seriously think that that's going to be my next project, my next organization project, because I struggle too with knowing what I have, but I feel like I don't have as much as I used to. So when digital scrapbooking was like super, super big and coming out, everybody was giving away freebies, and there was just like 40 different blogs and websites that you could constantly go to that were giving out freebies every week. And I was notorious for just like grabbing everything that I could, because I was so excited about, digital scrapbooking and free stuff. I mean, who wouldn't be? But I got so overwhelmed that I really couldn't keep track of what I had. And then I started using, at that time is when I discovered Photoshop Elements. Mm-hmm. And Photoshop Elements has a part in it where you can organize your digital elements. So you could put them in categories and tag them and do keywords and stuff like that. So I feel like there's some Photoshop, maybe Lightroom is like that, or there's got to be something.
I think I might even be able to
Adobe-ish.
do that on my computer. Let me see.
You can keyword. You should be able to keyword and tag stuff. I'm pretty sure.
Totally
I think you can even do that in Windows.
Let's see. I can call this DIY. Let me see if it. And then if I search DIY, I'm testing it now because why not?
Cool.
Let me see if it works.
Yeah, and so I think having an option to have a digital way to search for things, and or maybe a physical way like the swatch book. So if you can do your metadata and your tags and stuff,
yep,
that would be super helpful.
I think it worked.
Did it come up for you?
Well, the problem is DIY is in the name. Oh, yeah, but it came up with my tags for DIY. So it totally did.
Awesome.
Yep. So
okay,
that's a great
so you
idea.
could, even if you don't have a program, you just did that in your file explorer where you store your files. Okay. Yep. Awesome.
And maybe kind of knowing what categories you're going to be looking for. Just like how we organize our embellishments in different ways, hard and fast
Florals,
only
travel.
Should ever organize by color because you said that's your thing.
But I don't think you can organize digital supplies by color. I think this is one of those situations you kind of have to figure out the themes that you're going to be. I mean, and I think, too, if you're a person who downloads digital supplies, you've got an idea of what kinds of categories you're doing. Now, let's talk about this. Let's say you download a bundle that comes with Project Life cards, Traveler's Notebook papers, and embellishments. How would we store that by artist? Because I do the same thing. I have a printables folder, and then I have a folder by artist. And if this is the first time that I've ever downloaded something from that artist, I make a new folder, and then all the zipped files go in there, plus all the unzipped files, so that in case I ever delete anything, I've got the original download.
Okay.
And so then then you open up that folder, right? And then you've got different folders inside of that, which is papers, embellishments, alphas. You've got all these different things. Would you suggest going through every file, each individual image, and categorizing them like that? Or would you separate out papers from cards? I don't know. I don't think I would do that. I think I would keep it with the artist.
Yeah, and I would just use that tag system, and you could tag. You could have multiple tags per item, and so honestly, you could tag it if it's a paper that's really pink. You could tag it pink, girl. Thinking about the ways you could learn it. You could tag it Traveler's Notebook. You could tag it.
Yeah. And then no matter what you search for, all the things that you've ever tagged pink will come up. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And then maybe, I mean, there's a couple categories I'm thinking of, like in a creative, and we'll talk about, you know, I'm mentioning a lot of names, but we'll talk about obviously where we get more of our, or most of our digital supplies. But sometimes I'll be scrapbooking and I'll think, I really wish I had one of In a Creative Bubbles journaling cards.
Yep.
And so maybe making, for me, a category for like journaling cards, labels, and alphas would be kind of some of my most helpful tags. And even if I didn't go through my entire library and tag every single thing, with every single thing it could be tagged, if I tagged those 3 things,
sure,
those would be a place to start.
Sure, you find your kind of most used keywords that you mentally would think of.
Yep.
Like, you know, florals, alphas,
Yep.
something like that, journal cards. Yeah.
Labels,
Ooh,
something.
Yeah. Yeah, labels. Oh my gosh, yes. Labels are my love language. Oh, goodness. That, I'm feeling like I'm like mind blown right now. I feel like this is actually possible to keep to keep track. And right now, I would say that, and I don't have my hard drive in front of me, so I would say that I probably at this time only have about 25 to 30 artists that I have currently stored, and that, you know, is just from probably the last 2 or 3 years of downloading. Certainly not stuff that was happening in 2008 when digital scrapbooking was more of a thing.
Yeah. And I probably have closer to like 10, I would say. And so now that's not separating out all the Illustrated Faith artists.
Right. Because within Illustrated Faith, not only do you have different artists, but you have very specific themes like Beloved Society, Tiled Alphas, you know, the workshops and the retreat classes, like, you know, what, Revival Camp.
Yep.
You know, those kinds of things. So whatever kind of sparks you is what you would be searching for. Like, if you had this in a physical form, how would you categorize it?
Exactly.
How would you search it? And I'm sitting here looking at the way that I've categorized some of my Project Life cards, like multicolor, floral, activities, food, day and time, fill in, you know, seasons, that kind of thing. I think you could do something really similar.
Absolutely.
With the whole tagging metadata thing. Mm-hmm. So when this show airs, we should have a question for people to comment if they know what Adobe program does this other than Photoshop Elements, to just let us know what that is, so that if anybody has that, then they'll know that they can use that to organize their supplies if they don't already. But
you mean other than just their hard drive? Like other than just their computer?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like if they're using Photoshop Elements, they can have access to that organizer feature. But I think that because Photoshop Elements is like a dumbed down version of Photoshop, that I'm pretty sure that Adobe has a separate program if you have the Creative Suite that is something similar to that. And I feel like it's Lightroom, but I think Lightroom is like what you edit in. But I feel like there's a Project Bin sort of organizer.
Lightroom does have tags and stuff like that, but I just feel like I wouldn't organize them into
Got it.
I wouldn't like put them into Lightroom just to organize them.
Got it. I see.
I don't know if I have the entire Creative Suite.
I know my husband does on the Mac, so it's something I can look into also. But I think that even just doing the tags in your Explorer or your Mac folders are like super awesome way to start.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, you know, since we already kind of talked about it, what companies do we buy digital supplies from?
Oh, sure. So I think we can both agree that our favorites are In a Creative Bubble, Sweet Shop Designs. And the great thing about a place like Sweet Shop Designs, the Lily Pad, and the Digital Press Co. is that they have multiple designers selling their designs within those shops.
Yep.
So each one of those shops, I would say, has kind of a distinct look and style, but each artist definitely has their own unique style that's them. And so you can purchase lots of different artists' work from these different shops.
Yes.
Obviously, Illustrated Faith, because they are thebomb.com.
Yes.
Kelly Perky also has some good digital stuff.
Yep. And she's kind of like I was talking about with Felicity Jane, is a lot of times I'll do a digital kit from Kelly Perky versus paying money for the physical product, just because that saves me a little bit of money. And like, she has card packs, like Project Life cards or journaling cards for like $6 or $7. So it's just, and then it saves me on shipping too. So
right. Oh, there. Yeah, exactly. That's totally another bonus. Also, Citrus Twist Kits has a pretty good digital shop now.
Oh, okay.
That coordinates with their monthly physical kits.
Cool.
And then, obviously, we've talked about Felicity Jane. And Ellie Studio even has some printables each month.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not extensive. It's like they have cut files for your silhouette, and then they have a one-sheet printable that coordinates. And even if you weren't to get the physical kit, the Ellie Studio kit always comes with Project Life cards and then some embellishments. And you could really utilize just that digital kit on its own. You don't really have to. It can be used as a supplement to the kit, but it doesn't have to be, alongside it.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. I was gonna rifle through my little bin here of all of my digital supplies, and the other thing that I obviously need to mention is the Reset Girl.
Oh yeah.
She's got a huge digital store.
But is it going away? Did I understand
the digital
that
store? I don't believe that the digital store is going away.
Okay.
But maybe we should double check before we say anything.
We will update you.
Yes, we will, because I know that the physical kits are only coming out quarterly, and they're going to be like mega kits.
Yes.
And then I think that they're just not releasing monthly releases regularly in the digital shop.
Yeah.
But that shop is open. Everything's always available.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
I just don't think they're creating as quickly and as often.
Okay, perfect.
For the digital shop. Yeah, that's always good stuff. There's also, I don't know if she still has these on her site, but they've got to be somewhere. I think that even she may have recently updated some of the colors, but Caitlin Schaefer, I'm going to write this down so that we her labels. Oh, yeah. Like I seriously just lived off of her labels for a long time. Used them everywhere.
That's
and it's
so helpful.
Yeah, it's one sheet that's all one color, and there's a bunch of different shaped labels all on one page. So
that's so awesome.
I'll make sure we link to that.
Perfect.
I'm getting out my pen so I can write it down.
Perfect. And then how do you, I think I store mine similarly, but I'm not 100% sure. How do we store them physically once we print them out?
Yeah. So we do store them in those paper CD sleeves.
Yeah, we do. We both do. Okay.
Yeah, we both cut. Yeah, we cut them up, right? You mean you fussy cut everything, right?
I don't always fussy cut them as soon as I print them out. Sometimes,
right.
If I don't have the time, I'll cut them into some sort of shape that will fit into the CD case more or less.
Exactly.
And then I'll go back and fussy cut them actually later.
Yeah. That's pretty similar to what I do, unless I have
the time,
a lot of TV time. Yeah, where I'm just gonna kind of sit with my bin of printables and just kind of cut until I'm done.
Yeah.
So I store those by kit, correct? Like for example, if we've got a kit from Illustrated Faith, everything from that set is going in that sleeve.
Yep. And then sometimes what I found myself doing with a couple things, if it's a smaller type of thing, like Elaine at Illustrated Faith released these speech bubbles, like these grid speech bubbles. And so instead of making a kit just for those, because there weren't all that many, it wasn't like it was this huge kit
There
thing.
was maybe like 8 or something.
Yeah, I have a sleeve for what I call basics that I keep those little highlight things that have like words that say love this, or I see God here, or whatever.
Okay.
And then I think I have ampersands in there, and then maybe something else that's just kind of more of a basic shape.
Maybe the stitches.
Oh, maybe the stitches. Yep, I think I have those in there too. And then I also just have a CD case for alphas, because no matter what I'm doing, and I keep that one pretty close to me. I keep all of them in a wooden crate box thing. I think you have the same one in red from Michael's. It looks like an old Coke crate.
Yeah.
And mine just says Greenway Beverages. And it's like a cream color. And it has 3 sections. And each section is just the perfect size to put those sleeves in. And so I have
perfect.
Yeah, I have one section for Bible journaling, one for scrapbook kits, and then the other one is for I'm blanking. Devotional kits from Illustrated Faith that came with the little booklets before they had the pouches. Does that make sense?
The older ones. Yeah, yes. The older ones with the TN-sized devotionals.
Yeah, so I would put that devotional in the back, all the leftover bits and stuff like that, and then I keep those in the 3rd section. Just because then if I want to go somewhere and want to take a little Bible journaling, something to work on, I can pull out. And I think they're all almost ones I haven't done.
Got it.
And so I can just pull out a little thing. I've kind of got all the things in it, and it's all together. So that's how I keep mine physically.
Yeah. I have to admit too that the ones that I store in the CD sleeves are older kits that I have used a lot from. So they're a lot of leftover bits, like you were saying. So right now, if anybody has watched my recent studio tour video, they'll know that I have all of my cut up digital supplies right now in a bin that I dig through.
That's awesome.
And it kind of makes me crazy, but kind of makes me like super freedom with it, where I'm like ravenous in there, just looking for the perfect thing. And I'm okay with the first thing that comes to me. Yeah. If I'm just flipping and I'm like, oh, that's really awesome, I'm going to use that, I just go for it. And it feels so good. It feels so good to not have to freak out about where does this go, and should I keep my one Banana Fish Studio Traveler's Notebook kit, things with the new Kelly Bangs kit from Illustrated Faith, like what, do I put them together? It's nice to just kind of have them all out and available in front of my face, because what happens with things being put away, like the sleeved things are, because they're actually physically behind me, is that I forget about them.
Yep.
And I don't want to forget about any of my supplies. I love them all, but
I'm just going to say, too, you did say in your video that you do put some away to die.
I do. Sometimes
so you must not love them that much.
I don't love them all equally. I love them for a while, and then I let them go.
You go through phases.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those things too, where if I've passed over the same supplies for like 3 different times that I've purged, okay, it's time to go. I'm not using you.
Yep.
And like I said before, hoarded supplies are not happy supplies.
This is true.
They have to be used, and if they're not being used by me, they need to be used by someone.
Well, and that's oh, never mind. Actually, scratch my last thought.
That's all right. It wasn't even a thought. It was a little tiny whisper.
It was just a blurb. But last topic for this episode: how do we print our supplies? And you can cover this one since we print them both the same way.
We do, yeah. We both use the Canon, exact same stuff. And all of the things that we use to print are all linked in They'll be linked in the show notes. But if you don't have access to the show notes, you can always go to my website, which is retrohippamama.com/favorite things. And all of the stuff that I use and that Alyssa and I both use are linked there. And when you purchase things from Amazon through the affiliate link, that helps us pay for this podcast.
Yep.
So we have microphones and equipment and hosting fees and those kinds of things that come up and have to happen every month and every year. So just know that when you're purchasing these things through that affiliate link, that's what it does. It helps us provide this free podcast. But we both, exactly. But we both use the Canon Pixma IX6820 wide format printer. And the wide format means that it's 12 inches wide, so it prints edge to edge. Which is really, really handy for printing digital supplies and printing photos, because then you're not left with that 1/4-inch border. And so that's really super handy. We both use the 80-pound cover stock by Hammermill, and it is available on Amazon. And sometimes if the seller doesn't have it, I go to my local FedEx and pick up a ream. And it's like $16 for a ream of 250. And it is smooth, crisp white, and buttery. It's
the bomb.
It is not cardstock. It is cover stock. So it's a tiny bit smoother and less porous.
Yes.
Than a cardstock, and so it gives you this real nice finish. It's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
It's perfect. And sometimes I will, if I remember, I have it's either a 28-pound or a 32-pound. I honestly don't.
Is it the Navigator? Is it the Navigator paper?
I honestly can't even remember. It's been so long since I bought it.
It's probably a 32, because a 20-pound or a 28-pound is more like copy paper, regular printer paper.
So this is just a little bit thicker than that, but it's still got that smooth finish. And sometimes, especially like in my Bible pages or places or even traveler's notebooks where I'm a little bit concerned about thickness, it still prints good and solid. Doesn't see through, but it's just not as bulky.
Got it.
So every once in a while I'll do that for embellishments.
That's a good idea. And the other thing that you and I both use very consistently is the clear sticker paper.
Oh, yes.
Almost all of my embellishments at this point, all the embellishment pages get printed on the clear sticker paper, because I'd rather have the option to put the clear sticker paper on a piece of white cardstock and then cut that out if I need it to not be see-through, versus wishing that I had it on a clear sticker and only having it on a cardstock.
I so wish I could print everything on it, obviously except for cards, but
right. And traveler's notebook papers.
Yeah, it's stinking pricey, but
it is.
It's worth it.
But it's worth it.
I know. So I just try really hard, and I mostly only use it for Illustrated Faith printables and stuff like that. And I just try to really pick and choose things that I think would just be best on that paper. I try to print as much as I can on regular paper, and then kind of save that for more special things. So I think I just had to order some more, and the last time I had to order it was March, and so it's lasting me between 2 to 3 months. A package of, I don't remember how much comes in it.
Yeah, there's 25. And the one that we have linked, the one we have linked on Amazon, it's 25 sheets of 8.5 by 11. It's edge to edge. And I think it's $13 or $14.
I think it's like 16. For the 20.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, totally worth it.
And the price fluctuates.
It does. Depends on where you get it.
And my Amazon actually have this app or this add-on on my browser called Honey, I think it's called.
Oh, yes,
Honey. And it'll tell me on Amazon, if I click on it, it'll tell me the price for this item may go down soon. And it'll show me this little graph of like times of the month or times of the year when the price goes down. Or it'll tell me this is the highest price it's ever been, or this is the lowest price it's ever been. And so if if you have a little bit of time on some of those things and kind of are able to watch for that extra $1 or $2, sometimes when you're adding up all the little extra $1s or $2s,
yeah,
it adds up over time. So that's kind of helpful.
Exactly. Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to add to what you were saying about being picky about what you print on sticker paper, it's pretty much what I do too. So I'll download a bunch of stuff and I'll have like a printing afternoon or something where, you know, I've collected enough stuff and I'm getting ready to scrapbook for the weekend and I want to have some new fresh supplies. So I'll open up all of the PDFs that I want to print, and then I'll decide which pages of which kits I'm going to print on sticker paper. And then I just select, I put all the sticker paper. Did I say printer paper? I meant to say sticker paper.
No, I think you said
I'm not
sticker
sure.
paper.
Okay. And so I'll put all of the sticker paper in my printer and load it up with one type of paper at a time.
Yes, that's what I
and
do
then
too.
and then I will say, okay, page 2 and 3 of this PDF I'm printing on sticker paper. And it's not always every embellishment sheet. So sometimes with the Illustrated Faith printables, some of the embellishment sheets, they don't always work well on sticker paper. Like they don't need to be on sticker paper.
Yeah.
You know, but some of the things need to be. And so you just kind of have to spend a little time making the right choice there. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Well, we're in agreement. I love it.
Yay.
Yeah, like for example, I just wanted to use an example because I'm just staring at these and they're so gorgeous, but the ribbon banner award things that Kelly made for the Illustrated Faith release last week, I printed the actual ribbons on cardstock, but then printed the centerpieces that you can add to it. I printed those on sticker paper so that if I wanted to use them in other places or layer them up, I could do that. But if I wanted to put them and give some dimension to those ribbons, I could just put it on a piece of cardstock and throw like a little foam tape underneath it or something.
I love it. That's
and, it just gives you options.
Yep. And I mean,
anyway,
going off on another tangent, and then I swear we're going to stop this episode. Sometimes what I'll do too is if I have the time and I'm really just trying to be conservative, is I will go through and chop up a sheet in Photoshop, and then I will put the different embellishments that I want on sticker paper or on cardstock. I'll kind of dice them up because a lot of the times the print sheets that come from manufacturers or designers have a lot of white space in between them, especially around the edges. And so sometimes if I go in and kind of make my own, I can push things a little closer together, and I can just, and then also I'm not printing on the things on the page that I wouldn't use. So that's just kind of another way to just be really particular about what and how you're printing.
And you can do that a lot easier too when the kit comes with each individual PNG. And that's what I do. Yep. A lot of the stuff that comes from Sweet Shop and Digital Press, those all come with each individual image. And so you can build your own page with just the stuff that you'd like. And that's typically what I do. And then I wanted to also bring up the fact that a lot of people have electronic die cutting machines. And I know both you and I have the Silhouette, but mine's been put away. I can't keep it out here anymore. It just takes up a lot of space in my small area, and I don't mind fussy cutting, but just remember too, that's an option. And you've got the Silhouette, and also the other one that is really cool is the Brother scan and cut, or print and cut. But it basically, you just throw your printable in it scans where all the edges are, and then it cuts it out. So those are really, and that's a lot. It's like 2 or 3 less steps than using the Silhouette, because with the Silhouette, you've got to build your page. You have to, it has to be electronic to the point where the Silhouette program can recognize all of the edges, and you've got to do all of the formatting of getting the edges recognized. And so there are just a lot of steps involved with that. But that's what works for a lot of people. And is the Silhouettes or the die cutting machines.
Am I correct in saying that you have a video on YouTube about kind of how to do that with your Silhouette?
I do. I totally forgot about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's older. It's using an old print and pray actually, I think even before Print and Pray Shop was open, it was just one of Elaine's digital
things.
Things, yeah, a couple of pages. So yeah, I did. That's a good. I'll write that down too to make sure I link to that. The silhouette video tutorial.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks for bringing that up, sis.
I got you, babe.
Totally forgot about that one. Cool. All right. Well, I think we can wrap this up because we've talked for a while.
Yeah, we did.
I think we talked about some good stuff.
There was a lot.
You've blown my mind with the tagging. I'm so excited about that.
Yay.
And actually the swatch book. I'm actually way more excited about the swatch book.
Swatch books for life.
Heck yeah. Cool. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode, and let us know if you have any input or any comments. And this is us making the world crafty, one digital product at a time. How's that?
That was great. I just couldn't remember what to say after that.
I know.
Or if I was
like really trying to think on the spot. It's okay. We should really think about these things beforehand and kind of plan out these intros. Outros.
We spend too much time just talking in general and not enough time like talking business.
It's okay. We don't have to talk a lot of business.
We're not formal people.
We got this. Not at all.
And our girls who listen just get it. We just have a great group of girls. So
I agree. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you guys so much for listening. See you next week.